Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Boss Level, where we interview guests who have leveled up or are bosses in some way or another. I'm Jess Brohard, and I'm joined by Milady Confetti, and we have a really awesome guest. Confetti, first, I'm going to kick it over to you, though, and just ask how you're doing and how you've been.
I'm doing good. I'm getting over a little food poisoning from this weekend, but you know what?
Terrible.
I'm doing good. It's Monday. I'm trying. I'm being honest here.
Yeah, it is Monday. I kind of feel that as well, or I guess it'll be Thursday, hopefully, when people are listening. But anyway, Kira, we have Kieraplease joining us. I'm so excited. Kira, can you say a few words to our guests? What do you want them to know about yourself?
Well, hey guys, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm honored. I didn't know I leveled up and I was a boss, so I'm glad to be a part. Thank you. Thank you. But hey guys, I'm Kieraplease. I guess I'm a content creator, a streamer, and some other things. I guess we'll talk about that today. I just like to make stuff and put it out on the internet, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was wondering if you called yourself, because I would call you a content creator, but you do so many different things. So there's like so many different titles we could give you, or that you could give yourself. What's your main like focus right now? What's your kind of project that you're most excited about working on right now?
Ooh, that's a hard question. But it's also hard to give myself titles because I don't know what I am. I just say content creator now.
There is one title, King.
Yep, I am a king. I call myself king. So I'm royalty, so that's fair. Big project that I'm working on. It's kind of scary to say because I feel like once you say it, it becomes more real, but it is real. But I've been trying to get more into comic book and graphic novel making and the creation of that.
That's so cool.
Thank you. And that's just been a whole ride. Most people don't know, but I've been doing it for about 2 years. I just haven't put out anything to the world. So that's been an exciting and just pretty cool journey to kind of see unfold.
That's very cool. Do you do everything yourself, the art and
Absolutely
the writing? Not. Oh, I think you said you comic book making. I was like, oh,
absolutely not. No, I'm working with a few different artists and cool. A few different writers. I want to say like a couple different books that we're kind of putting together. I'm more so like the creator and the producer. So I kind of go scout out the artists and try to find different people to help with the world building. And then also working with some writers or up and coming writers or people who want to be writers and kind of developing the story with them. So usually it's about like a group of three of us until we can expand upon the team.
For sure. That's very cool. How and what kind of got you started in that direction? Because, again, it just seems like there's so many things that you do and so many things that you have done. And I totally understand, as a content creator, sometimes what you do will sort of change or what you're focusing on will change. So how did you get specifically into doing like comics and manga and such?
Yeah. So, well, I've always loved comics.
Yeah.
I have so many graphic novels that I just was in love with, and I kind of stumbled upon it. I never thought I would make one, but one day I drew a picture. This is so scary because I'm like, I haven't talked about this. I haven't talked about this. Hopefully by the time it comes out, like people will like it. I don't know. It's a long process. Trust me, it takes years. I didn't realize that. Yeah. But I always loved like comic books and graphic novels. And one day I just happened to draw a picture on like, I don't know why. I was just drawing. That was like my therapeutic thing I was trying to do to help with my mental health, was just doodling and drawing. And one of my friends saw the picture and they said, hey, do you mind if I like kind of write a story with this, or like just make a mock thing? And I read the story and it was actually like a children's book. And then I was like, hey, what if we like up the ante? Like, let's make this for adults. And I really enjoyed where they were going with the story and what they did with my characters, that I decided like, you want to like try this out and see if we can do it. And that's when I like reached out and kind of scouted out artists, and then we got characters developed, and the character designs, and then we started developing the story even more, and then it kind of just fell from there, and we've just been working on it ever since.
That's really cool.
Wait, really? Oh God, thanks.
No, yeah, that's awesome.
No, because you talk about like when you do productions and stuff like that, like there is a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see or may not comprehend. They just see the final product when it's like, no, I've been doing this for a couple of years,
a long time.
And if people are like, really? It's like, it is not that simple.
And things like they take time, like good things take time, and you never get what you want off of the first rip. You kind of go through a lot of renditions and get to the point where you need to be. So yeah, that's cool that you also are aware. Yes, it takes a lot of work.
Well, yeah, I've been dealing something for a couple of months now, and then that's going to be kind of coming out this month. But then also, like I also reference a lot Cinderella, because that was kind of like my first big project I put in the world. Like the dress alone, the bodice alone took so long because
I can imagine
so many people involved with that project that I was just like, no, you just showed up and looked like Cinderella. I'm like, no, I didn't. That was the easy part.
The last part is just showing up as the easy part. All the work that goes into it. That was the tough part. Yeah. So I completely understand. That's insane though. That's really cool.
As
hence the crown.
Yeah, exactly. So one way, I know I've been following you for a couple years through Instagram, but I think I found you you did a collaboration with a few other cosplayers, and that's how I came to come across you, and then you became like a Savage X Fenty ambassador. But one thing I was like thinking about before this interview was like, I don't know your origin story. So like, what's like your superhero origin story? Like, who is Kieraplease?
Yeah, so I if y'all remember this one website, Tumblr. That's where I started.
Never heard of it.
I started on Tumblr, and
that's so funny.
It's weird how this all, well, maybe it's not weird. So I was on Tumblr a lot, and this was also like early stages of Instagram where, it's way different now, but I was more so on Tumblr because was just like the pop-in website. I was really, really young, but I really enjoyed it was kind of like a big Pinterest page. And I was like, ooh, I want to like put out fashion and hair stuff like these cool girls on Tumblr. So I started submitting all my fashion and hair stuff to random blogs that would just publish me. Like I would submit like hundreds a day, like crazy amounts, just to be like, I didn't know any other way to grow my Tumblr. And I didn't really have a following on Twitter or Instagram. So I was like, how do I get people to see me? So I was like, submit to blogs. And some of them actually started posting me, and then people started kind of recognize me for, I want to say, fashion and different hair stuff. I used to put a lot of flowers in my hair and do like crazy scarf tops tutorials. They weren't really tutorials. They were just pictures of me trying to like put it on. And that's kind of how I started getting traction. And within Tumblr, I started just promoting my Instagram, because I was like, okay, I want to be on like some other platforms as well that I find cool. And that's when I started growing more of a following on Instagram. And then it blew up for hair. And then all of a sudden I randomly decided to cosplay. I don't even know why. I don't even think I knew what it was. And then that's when it like doubled. And that was like insane to see. I think it was Garnet from Steven Universe. And it was just a lot of posting on Tumblr, being consistent at that. And then also trying to outsource and promote my other channels as well for different other content. So that's kind of how it began, Tumblr. Thanks, Tumblr.
Rest in peace, Tumblr.
Is it not still around, or is it just like a dead site now? It's like it's still around, right?
It exists. I don't know how many people use it.
Yeah. Anyway,
that is so fascinating though, because like that's just very, very interesting that you blew up on Tumblr first and kind of segued that to your other social media. And one kind of theme I'm noticing about a lot of these successes that you've had is that it was something you almost kind of went into on a whim, rather than, like you said, you kind of accidentally drew a comic and kind of somehow got into cosplay instead of necessarily intentionally setting out to do that. Is that how you've always been? Do you kind of, go maybe where the universe takes you? Or would you say you have more of a kind of set path and goal that you try to follow?
You actually pointed out something I wasn't even aware of. That's good to know. That's good to know. I think a lot of stuff I have accidentally discovered. And I think that was also through just trying things. And then within trying something, I'm led another way, which becomes my new path. So I want to say a lot of things I do, I stumble upon, but then when I get into it, I try to be intentional. Like if I try to be like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I kind of want to put my all into it and see how far I can go and how much I can do and how much explore this whole new world. So I think after discovering the things that I think I'm good at, that's when I kind of go like, okay, full speed ahead, let's go. So a mixture of both.
For sure. I'm a big fan of like, you know, I don't know if it's considered, because I haven't done much reading on like the like law of attraction and, you know, that kind of stuff, but I think there's something to do with it that like I'm a big fan of just kind of letting things come to me rather than, and maybe I'm just lazy, but like I don't, if I have to expend so much energy and try so hard at something and it's just not working, like I would rather just kind of let something naturally sort of come to me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way.
Perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. I mean, a lot of times that's how it just happens, because you never know until like you stumble upon something. You're like, oh, I do love like pineapples on pizza. I don't.
Yep.
I don't.
Oh, wait a minute.
But
I do.
Cut the podcast. Cut the podcast.
But who would have known if I don't like pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. More for me.
Sorry.
What is your favorite pizza topping though? It's very important.
You're gonna hate me. I don't really care for pizza that much.
Oh my gosh.
But
what did you do when you went to New York for your billboard? What did you eat? That's like the one thing you got to get when you go to New York.
It's like pizza's okay, right? It's cool. Like it's there, it's easy, it's accessible, but I would never like openly choose pizza.
Okay.
Okay.
What's like your go-to food?
Sushi.
Yes. You do order sushi a lot on street. Like I had to order food. It's sushi.
It's just I think I'm addicted. I think I'm definitely addicted.
What's your favorite type, like roll or you know, what's your favorite type of sushi?
I used to think it was unagi, eel, but
Okay.
I'm starting to think it might be like yellowtail and albacore. I like a
yellowtail.
lot of yes, I love a lot of sashimi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry. But though, like I'm gravitating towards those a little bit more. But I do like a eel from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're because I know I frequent your stream all the time. I'm usually lurking and doing work, but I know the one last time I was chatting. What do you mean stop?
I mean, yeah, thank you. I mean, I'll be lurking too. I'm
Like she's so cute. She doesn't like. She's not taking any of these compliments. She's just so like. It's like I think we're just embarrassing her more than anything.
It baffles my mind that people like me. I'm just like, why? Tell me, is there an ulterior motive? I don't know. I don't get it. I never understand, but I be lurking too. I'm the type of streamer that lurks. I'm not a chatter.
But the thing is that but exactly. We're talking about this topic. I think you had some people on voice chat. I was just typing in chat when I could get a second, but like you're talking about like, you know, you talk about your rise from Tumblr and how everything populated to like your other platforms. I know like you were partnered this year on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
So crazy. You had like a lot of things like going on. You were just in a billboard in New York City where you didn't have pizza. So but when we talk about all these big things, I think during that stream, you were being very vulnerable and talking about like how you don't always do things, or sometimes you don't know what's going on, or sometimes when things fail. So how do you deal with, you know, something that's quote unquote a failure? And what do you like take from that experience?
I don't. I'm sorry. No, I'm trying to. It's a work in progress. This is something that I was actually like thinking about the other day. I don't know if I take failure well, and I think that I'm working on it. I try to like look at failure as like, okay, it's just like a learning experience. But sometimes I feel like I take it very personal because I do try to put my all into things. So I'm like, dang it. Like it's gonna make me sad. Oh my God, it's gonna make me cry.
It's not make you sad.
No, but I've been trying to work on it. I actually recently went to Georgia, and my uncle, he was thinking about me and he gave me this book, and I've been trying to read it. And it was basically just about controlling your mood and like failures and successes and how that impacts like your daily habits, what you think about, and just trying to reprogram my mind, because I do get so like emotional about things to a fault sometimes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
You're
And
also human and you're allowed to feel your feelings.
I forgot about that.
So that means that you care about these things that you're doing. Like if you fail at something that you don't care about, it's like if you don't get emotional about it, well, you clearly didn't care that much. Like you were obviously a person who puts a lot of passion and emotion into things, which I think is good. I mean, especially like as an artist, you would just have that emotion that you have to convey, otherwise like what are you doing, right?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the donkey, tail on the donkey.
Yes.
What's the saying?
Nail on the head and pin the tail on the donkey.
Yes, that.
I really like that.
I love your catchphrases. I know that very same stream. You were just like, you ever just look at your left elbow? I'm like, what? And I love you for it. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Do I look at my left elbow?
I'm like, I'm not really sure. I've been trying, or at least.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I've been trying as of recently just to like breathe, take a moment instead of just always like reacting all the time, and trying to take a step back and be like, okay, well, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
How can I learn from this? And what can I do better going forward? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if any failure is actually a failure, because it gets you towards where you need to go. I know there's that one, another saying, fail fast. It's like fail faster or something like that. I forgot. It's like the faster you fail, the more you learn and the quicker you can get to the destination.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. That and then watching movies. I really love watching TV shows and movies to get my mind into a different world.
I saw your takes on Game of Thrones. I was like, okay. Yeah.
I have such harsh opinions that I'm scared to tell on the internet. So I tweet and delete.
Oh, did you delete it? Did you delete it?
I don't know I don't think I did. But I mean,
you weren't wrong.
Thank you. Someone said they didn't like Game of Thrones and I almost blocked them, but I was like, Kiera, calm down. Calm down. I was like, calm down. It's okay.
But then like the follow-up was like, until we get to the season that we shall not name. Then it's like, okay, yeah.
Then there's that. But yeah, I'm still working on it. It's a learning experience. Yeah. It's a process. What do y'all do? I would love to learn from y'all.
Well, when we fail,
when you tell me that, I panic because I'm like, I don't know. I just cry on the floor.
That's why I was like, I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard out here.
Cry on the floor. My cat comes in here and smacks me like, get up. I'm like, okay.
I am also very emotional, and I tend to get very emotional when I fail. And I would say like, okay, maybe, I don't know if this will help, but the biggest thing that I've learned from failure is that, yeah, in some ways it's a learning opportunity, because you can look at, well, what can I do better for next time? But there are going to be times when you didn't do anything wrong and you still quote unquote failed, like, just something. And like, it's, I just really, really have to remind myself every single time, like not to take it personally, like if there is maybe an opportunity that I felt I should have gotten that I didn't get, I'm allowed to be upset about it, but then I kind of have to remind myself like, well, you just don't know what it is they're looking for. You just don't know, it's not that they didn't want you. It's that they specifically wanted something else maybe instead. I don't know,
That's actually
but it's
a good point.
But it's also all right to be upset. Like that's valid. You can feel your feelings, and
I know for me, like an actual answer, like I do actually cry on the floor, but when I'm not crying on the floor, I remember like a specific example, like a lot of people I don't share it often, but I cosplayed as Todoroki and it failed. I am not used to like, I mean, like as far as like engagement and stuff was concerned. And I know like there's a whole point to this, but like engagement, like I think got 50 likes on Instagram, which is not normal for me. It got like 80 on Twitter. And I said, what did I saw that as a failure. I'm like, I drove, I got a photographer, I got special effects, I got all the things. I said, why did he fail? Like, it just didn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
And like, I know I was so hurt for that. I didn't actually cry. I think I got like very upset because I was just like, I put my heart into this. I was like, why didn't people like it? And my mentor actually had to say, he was like, yeah, but 50 people still did. But he's like, but 80 people still did. That's worth something. And the thing is, it's like, and also like stop thinking about metrics because you're going to drive yourself up a wall.
Oh yeah, like social media is insane.
And that was honestly, I was getting caught up in that. And it's like, and they were like, did you have fun? I said, I did. It's like, did you learn something from that as far as like, photography and what you like and what you don't like with certain things? I was like, I did. And also like, because I have anxiety and ADHD, like I tend to just be all over the place and erratic. So I actually took something from my higher education degree. Thanks, Mom. I'm using my degree. Called a SWOT analysis. So it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I was able to categorize what kind of went, how that kind of shoot went, so I can have something tangible to look at and then not repeat the same things. Or repeat the things that did work. So having a photographer and somebody who understands how to, take photos of dark skin, I needed that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the girl was looking ashy and I said, I am not casket ready today. Oh my God. that was something that was a strength. I was like, I found somebody who I know how I can work with. So that works. And then it went from there. So like having a system that tangibly works so I don't get stuck in my feelings. I know you watch a lot of anime, but when Itachi's like Genjutsu and Naruto, Sakura, and Granny Chiyo, they got caught in his Genjutsu and they needed somebody to touch him to get it out of it. That's me. I'm like, I need a shoulder touch. So that's what I need so I don't get caught in that. And that's my tangible system that works for me.
That's beautiful. But that's really beautiful. I'm gonna heed some of the things y'all do into my life.
Don't cry on the floor.
I do that too.
Get cry on the floor.
I do that too. It's fine.
You're really like putting a lot of faith in us that like that we know what we're doing. You're just
it's sound advice. Like it's not bad. Like it sounds like I'm hearing. I'm like maybe I should try that. Like sounds good. I'll be doing the same thing. Like,
well, do y'all think this would be a good time to take a little bit of a quick ad break then?
I think so.
All righty. Well, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere and hear a word from our sponsors.
Okay, and welcome back. We're still here with Jess Brohard and Kieraplease, and I am also your host, Milady Confetti. I want to jump back in. I know we were talking a lot about like advice and things that you're going to follow, but being that you've been in the, doing content creation for so long, what is some advice that you would give somebody who wants to do what you want to do?
Ooh. Okay. First of all, it doesn't always happen overnight. Okay. It takes time. And I didn't even recognize how much time and how much like of my life that I've spent within like just being on the internet. Like I think I started in 2012 and I'm just like, this is a long time. And a lot of the people you see, they've been working at it. Just because they may have blown up now doesn't mean they haven't been creating videos in the past or been doing cosplay or doing voice acting or doing all these auditions until one of them hit and you're like, you just see the success. So be patient with yourself. And also be open to change and learning what works for you. A lot of times people might try the same thing over and over and over and not understand why they're not getting the success or the eyeballs or the brand deals that you want. But be open to be flexible with your own content and trying new things. I think sometimes we get scared to change and switch things up, even when we do find some success. And then all of a sudden we feel like we're now stagnant and we don't understand, but we're trying the same tactics. And sometimes it's okay to do that, but it's also okay to just do something different, try new things and see what other things will work for you and what other things that you enjoy. And it's crazy that now this is like a job. Because when I was doing it or started, I never thought about it as a job, which is like a wild turn of events. Shout out to my degree. I went in for creative advertising. I guess I do that.
Yes, we're using our degrees.
Yeah, thanks, Mom, too. And also, I think one major thing, if you're like actively trying to get in this career field to have as a job is make sure you're taking care of your mental health, because as much as social media is a tool, it's also very taxing. Like, it's not the type of job where you go in and clock out. Like, you constantly, whether you want to or not, you constantly keep thinking about, okay, what about new ideas? I want to do this. I want to stream this, or I want to try this. And you don't shut off your brain. So make sure you're taking those moments in time to shut off your brain and go do something else and not make it about content. You know, go to a museum and don't post on your story. Just go hang out with friends and not think about these things, because I think sometimes you really do need that clear break. While it's also beautiful to share your life, sometimes it does become about, like what you're saying, it can become about engagement and why don't people like this, or how come I'm not growing? And as much as it's great to grow, it's not all about that, if that makes sense.
I agree.
I love everything you just said so much, because we also, I feel like the like streamer culture is all about like hustle and like, you know, you're always grinding, and in a way,
culture.
like, yeah. And
I'm learning it too now. I'm just like, oh my God, I like 5 hours out of your day it doesn't seem like a lot, but then when you're doing it almost every day, you're like, wait a minute, I need it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
there was one time I was working. I started at like 8 a.m. and then it was 1 a.m. and I said, what?
The time just be going.
Oh my gosh.
I'm at this computer. And that's not healthy for your body. Sometimes you gotta stand up, like, and stretch.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of goes back to like what you were saying about, you know, when you're maybe creating like a comic book or a cosplay, there's so much work that you do behind the scenes. And it's just like streaming. There's so much you do when you're not actually streaming to help your stream. And then these viewers, like, they only see like the little kind of like the chunk of the iceberg that's sticking out of the water. They don't see, you know, the gigantic, everything below the surface that you do around the clock. But like, yeah, it's so important to take care of your mental health. And there was, and I also wanted to go back a little bit, to what you were saying about, you know, like if you're trying new things, you need to make sure to kind of like try and see what works and not like necessarily keep kind of spinning your wheels at something that's not working. Cause that's something I see a lot of streamers doing that are kind of on the beginning of their content creation journey, is they won't necessarily explore maybe other platforms or other options. They'll put themselves in a box and they'll get kind of stuck on the like Twitch partner, you know, label or like a goal. And they'll think that that's the only path for them, when realistically they could be, you know, very fulfilled creating content on YouTube and maybe growing faster that way, or, you know, doing something else. Have you ever felt pressure to kind of be something or like put yourself in a box like that? Or are you more always like true to yourself?
I definitely have felt the pressure to only cosplay at times, because I did, you know, grow a lot while cosplaying. And sometimes I would get like frustrated. While it's great to be a cosplayer, I started getting frustrated that people didn't see these other things and parts of my personality that I actively wanted to share and do. And they kind of, not on purpose, but put me in a box. Yeah. And I was just like, I would just get so frustrated. I'm just like, y'all are making me not like doing this, because I'm like, yeah, I want to be a voice actor too. Like, hey, can you pay attention a little bit of that? Or like, I also want to talk about, I don't know, food for a little bit. And like, I have these other interests. And I started putting myself in the box thinking that I can't make any other content because no one will care. I don't think that anymore. It took some time, but I was just like, okay, I just need to share more of these other things and other interests so people can understand, like, I'm not just this one thing. While it's great to be that one thing, and I'm so happy and grateful for the experiences and the opportunities it has given me, I also am blessed to say that it's also given me opportunities in other realms and other fields that I find so much joy in, that I do want to kind of explore. And I think that's okay to kind of slow down on one chapter of your life to see what this other book is about for a little bit. But yeah, that was a little like frustrating at a time, because it's like, how does something that provided me so much joy also put me in a box, if that makes sense?
Can I say I'm trying not to get emotional right now, because I felt the same exact way.
Woo, child, like, I'd be scared. I'd be so sad.
No,
I'd be like,
I started to feel it with cosplay, and then I kind of reclaimed that energy for me. So I only do things when I feel like it. But it was
Same.
more so with a game for me. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore because it was Milady Confetti, the DVD streamer. And I'm like, I am so much more than this stupid game. It's not stupid. It's actually a really fun game. But like I got closed in the box. And then like when I would do other things, no one would be there. And like I was just like, but you know, talking about you pour your heart into the thing. And then here I am crying on the floor. Like
I'm about to get emotional.
It felt like a vicious cycle. And it's like, then I talk about like things like, you know, I don't want to be put on a box, or don't put me on, you know, this platform over here. Like when I'm just human and trying to figure out like what sticks to the wall. So then I had been afraid to try things. And then come this new year, I said, no more. And I started streaming Resident Evil Village. I don't know what number, I don't know how to count. I started streaming that because I was just like, I want to break away from this. It's not that I don't love that, though I still stream it once in a while, but it's like, yeah. And I was like, I know like, I'm probably older than you, but like you're somebody I've like always looked up to for like in content creation, because it's
I
like
will cry.
no, but it's real because it's like I didn't see many black girls. I didn't see many black girls doing things, and then it's just like, oh wow, like to see the platform that you had, and it was just like that was just a moment for me, like that all the things you said, to know that you're not alone, like even whatever, you know what I'm saying.
No, that was actually
my brain is braining.
That was very reassuring. And is it cathartic? What's the word? Like that was nice to hear. I think I needed to hear that, because like a lot of times we feel these emotions alone, and while I know I'm not the only one going through it, it's nice to actually hear someone in like similar spaces just relating. And I will cry.
I sometimes I'm cautious about what I put on Twitter, particularly my Instagram, like private stories are just me like crying on the floor. But like, I really wish I wasn't. That's the honest truth. But like, because sometimes it's just like, then it gets seen as like, well, you have all of this. You have this with Logitech and this and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, okay, but like I want to do this thing over here. Like I want to talk about anime. I want to talk about like other things. I want to talk about, you know, putting paint on my face because I just like to do it. I want to talk about going on hikes. And it's like sometimes like when people just see you as this thing, that's tough. And it's like, you know, you don't want to disappoint people, but at the same time, like I'm disappointing myself. So like
preach.
It's nice to know that I'm not alone, and I'm not gonna cry because this makeup is bomb.
It's okay. Me neither. I will cry after. Cry after. Oh my gosh. No, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, because I don't feel like I'm losing it.
Same.
This is one of my favorite things about doing this podcast is I feel like we as hosts are able to learn so much from our guests each time, and it's just wonderful. Like I feel like we all level up, you know?
Yes. This I feel like this has put me on a new level. Like thank you again for having me. This is great.
Of course. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like trying not to get emotional. So just
okay.
I'm like trying not,
I'll give you a virtual tissue.
Thank you. Oh, I think we also have some questions from Twitter.
Oh, shoot. Ooh. Good point.
Twitter. Sorry. Shoot away.
So Lumpy Shinobi asks, I love that name. With the increased spotlight on geek culture in the last 10 years, has the demand for cosplayers also risen? And how has that affected them? I had to adjust that.
Yeah.
Verbiage.
Okay. I would like to say I know nothing. Don't listen to me at all. These are just my opinions. I'm still learning and trying to adult like everybody else. So be patient with me. But I think with the rise of geek culture, I definitely have seen a lot more spotlight in diversity within the space as well, which is, I think, cool to see. Can you say that last part of the last part of the question again?
Yes. So yeah, has there been a demand more for cosplayers? And also, how do you think that's affected them?
This is a hard question to answer because, you know, I don't know anyone else's experience. But I will say there's a lot more people in the space. So I'm guessing that has created more of a demand for people to want that type of content. But also, like, in general, I feel like this space has become so hungry as far as just like outputting something. And I think that TikTok is a test to that, because it's almost like if you're not posting like 16 times a day, then you are irrelevant.
Yes.
And I'm just like, Jesus, making
Oh
one
my
video
God.
be taking hours, bruh. So I definitely feel like the demand has gone up, but I also feel like in a certain way it's also leveled out because there are so many cosplayers. There's like no way that you're not probably getting one cosplay a day from somebody. So I don't know.
I think it definitely like showcases, I think definitely more diversity in the space. Like this is kind of the first time in maybe the last decade I've seen more people who look like me,
Yes,
who are not just like being podcasters or people who are hosting shows like maybe like on Crunchyroll or like any like G4 or anything like that. Not even just like anime related, but like
all around the board.
I was just like, oh my God, like that is cool. And also with voice acting too. Like I love seeing that. I just, especially in anime, I'm like, I love seeing Black girls win.
I love it. Yeah, it's really cool to see. I definitely feel like it's as of these recent years, it's definitely broken into mainstream, which I feel like inherently makes it a better community, because we are able to see all these different perspectives from different types of people, and also see people who wouldn't traditionally be in this space be in the space and learn about it, and also find interest in it, which is crazy, because I'm like, for real, Jordan got a collab? That's crazy. I was like, I would have never seen that when I was in middle school.
No,
it's crazy. I'm just like, wow, like, and it's being recognized and I think respected, which is a big thing, because I think like me growing up, it wasn't really respected. It was kind of just like, keep that over there. Now it's like, you don't watch anime?
Right.
It's the opposite.
But also like when Megan Thee Stallion, like when she did that Todoroki cosplay on the cover of magazine, I forget which magazine.
About that. Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes, I forgot about that.
I was like, of course it is. I'm like, she's not doing that in the fire and the ice. Come on. There's only one character that does that.
I was like, all right. I was like, I see you. Whose idea was this? I was like, cool. It's on the cover. That's wild. I'm like, ooh, we have made a way. We've paved some ways.
And I love how like the OGs of like anime are just like welcoming. A lot of us are. We're just like, no, come over. We want to talk more anime with people, please.
Yes.
Join us.
It's crazy. And it's cool to see, like you said, not just in like solely cosplay, but people going into these different spaces, like as far as like clothing. The fact that Hypeland is basically like a mainstream brand that's in hot so much. Yeah, Jordan, he's doing his thing. I'm like, that's
amazing.
You are killing it. Like
when he came up and hugged me, he was like, oh hey. I was like, why do you know who I am?
I'm just like, wow, like you did the thing. And like, I recently saw that Cutie Pie Sensei Jasmine, she talked about it with me a while back, but she's starting her own swimwear anime swimwear, and I'm like, that's freaking amazing. Like, congratulations. That's so real. Cool. Like, and just being in, like, taking this one niche and putting it into all these different communities and sprinkling it and making it just, you know, a little nice is really
and Oh My Senpai with the loungewear, like,
I
don't know if we're allowed to like link all these awesome Black anime inspired places, but like we really should. I don't know, iHeart, we should do that though. If you can, not sponsored, but like, please link them somewhere.
So I have a question for both of you then, since, you know, this is a topic that obviously, you know, I can't relate too much. Like, you know, I'm white. And so growing up, there were all these, you know, there's a ton of white representation everywhere I looked, never something I struggled with. So what would be the advice that you two would give to maybe younger people of color who are growing up and don't necessarily see themselves represented? Like, what was it that kind of kept both of you driving forward as you saw, you know, oh, like there aren't really a lot of other Black women doing what I'm doing? What was it that motivated y'all and that you can pass on to the next generation?
For me, the motivation was that there wasn't many Black women. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it and make sure everybody else knows they can too. So they feel comfortable, because sometimes it's scary, you know. I definitely wanted to be like, dang, I want to advocate for, you can do this thing. Like, I think Issa Rae's a good portrayal of that. Like, you can you can act, and you can make your own production company and create your own shows and be writers in these spaces that traditionally you wouldn't see yourself. So I think just becoming that person that I would want to see, to allow other people to also become that person that they want other people to see, and kind of making it like a domino effect, because it just takes one, and then it takes another and another and another, and then
then you're one of us.
Yes, you're one of us. Exactly, one of us. What about you, milady?
I don't I think I was just the type of person, just like kid to adult. Like, I just always thought that anime was cool. And like, yeah, sure, like I got bullied and I got ousted and, pushed to the side for it and all the other stuff. But like, I thought it was cool. It was something that engaged my imagination, from things like Sailor Moon. I was just like, I want to be like Sailor Mars. I want to be like Sailor Pluto. Like, I don't know. Like, I just always thought it was cool. So like, yeah, while externally it did suck, like I still always, because I'm also an only child. So I didn't like, also didn't have like a lot of friends. Oh yeah, I'm an only kid. Hi mom. Happy Mother's Day. I don't know. I think it was just like that escape for me, but then also like, it was kind of cool when I got those moments where I could talk to other people about anime. And actually this year, it was something that, because it wasn't always something I talked about publicly, but one of those things, along with playing Resident Evil Village, a lot of things are coming from this one very game. But like after I completed the game and everything was fine and the world didn't disintegrate around me, I said, yeah, like kind of like you were mentioning earlier, when we were talking about like take risks, do things. So like I talked about anime out loud. I talked about my experience. I talked about being bullied, and I was like, yeah, that sucks. But Yusuke Urameshi is one of the greatest characters ever in anime ever, and you will never convince me otherwise. And then I found friends from saying that out loud. Yes. I was like, okay, cool. So, I mean, I don't know. I just always been, at least in that department, I've been very, very, very true to myself. And I'm just like, if I'm having fun, you can throw all the spitballs you want at me. Like, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. And I think you inherently being like comfortable with that side of your personality has led people to also become comfortable with those sides of themselves that they might shy away from because of how people will perceive it. So that's kudos to you, man. Kudos to you.
Can we end the podcast? Because Kiara's trying to make me cry and I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Are you going to go cry on the floor or right here though?
Right here. This is my crying mat right here.
Oh, okay.
This is actually a Hypeland rug.
Oh my gosh.
Bring this to the New York subway. This and another rug. And Jordan was like, you're going to carry that home? I was like, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Thank you. I'll see you at the next meetup.
Lovely. I love that for you.
Jess, we got to get you to watch some anime.
I know.
For our viewers or for our listeners, what is an anime that Jess should start watching? Yeah. Like just to kick off, like a good starter anime.
Everyone's going to say Attack on Titan, right?
No, do not listen to them. Do not listen to them.
Don't listen to them. Okay, I feel like everyone that I follow on Twitter, they're always posting about Attack on Titan. So I was like, okay, I'll watch a couple episodes.
Don't do it to yourself.
No,
that's not a good startup.
Really? Okay. Well, yeah. Well, then, what's in your opinion? What are some good ones I should start with? It's like way back in the day, I was a fan of anime, and like in high school and college, but I kind of fell out of it. Like after college, I just haven't. So like, I graduated college in 2010 because I'm old. So literally it's been since like 2010 that I've watched anime. And I know it's like, there's so many new ones that have come out in the last, decade.
Yeah, they blew up. But
I would say,
you go first.
I would say, because I'm a person that is very story driven. So like, that's why a lot of the big like shonens and some shoujo like don't capture my brain. Cause I'm like, if you don't have a story, you lose me. Things that have a really great story, I would say Fruits Basket.
I read that manga back in the day. Ooh. Is it still like, so is it like they're still continuing the story, or is it like, so they did the remake. So they did the remake that is on Hulu, and then they also have the prequel, I believe, that they're working on, which I don't know much about, but I'm prepared to cry.
There's another one. It's called Classroom for the Elite. That one came out a while ago, but it's very short. I think it's only 12 or 13 episodes.
Nice.
It's not graphic, but it can be intense. Like I like things that kind of that challenge me, like to think about like the society and stuff that we live in, because that's just the type of person that I am. But if you want something that's like, I guess, a bit longer, I say Yu Yu Hakusho because it has a beginning and an end. I like things that have an ending. This is a lot of shade to Dragon Ball Z, and I do not care.
No, I agree. I like things
so much shade to Dragon Ball Z.
But Dragon Ball Z is like forever long, right? Isn't it? I remember it was like on the Dragon
ended.
Road for like 5 episodes.
And it's so much filler, and they take 10, like, child, power up or don't. Goku is still a deadbeat dad. Like, I can't. I am over it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be starting with Dragon Ball Z.
Or I wouldn't even.
No, I think I'll just skip that one entirely.
No worries.
But I believe it is time for one more ad break before we come back for some more awesome anime discussion. Don't go anywhere, listeners. We'll be right back. All right, listeners, welcome back to Boss Level. You know what? We were having some amazing discussion on the break, so we decided we're just going to hop back into things. We're going to bring this back around to this discussion. So we're talking about horror movies. We're talking about a movie called The Boy. So I was just describing for Confetti and Kiara what The Boy is about. And I'm not going to spoil it, but it's this young woman goes to, I think, England to become like an au pair for this young boy. She shows up and the parents go, yeah, you're going to take care of our son Brahms. And here he is. And they present her with a doll.
Yes.
And she's kind of looking at them like, is this a joke? And they're like, no, it's not a joke. And then I don't want to spoil it. But so Kiara, do you know that one?
I feel like I've heard of it.
I'm still not going to spoil it, but like creepy things will happen. Like she goes along with it. She decides like she'll actually take care of this doll. So she like puts him in a chair and then leaves the room, comes back. He's like on the floor or like on the bed or something like he has moved. So she doesn't ever like witness the doll moving, but like he'll like creepy things are happening.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I feel like I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah.
You're probably going to watch that tonight. Like,
no, probably.
I
mean, I love a good horror. I love a good psychological thriller. They're the best.
Yeah. So like, okay, the reason I love horror movies so much is because if I am like anxious about anything, it's something that maybe isn't going to happen, but it's something that is grounded in like the real world, I worry that like, oh, my friends hate me, or I worry, whatever I'm worrying about. It's something that is grounded in the real world. And then I watch a horror movie and I'm like, this is a crazy concept that would never happen. Like Final Destination, as like gory and stuff and as scary as it is, I don't have to worry about death coming after me.
Truck thing, the thing, but that's real.
I don't like to drive behind anyone
the other week,
anything.
and I said, absolutely not. I pulled over to the side. I said, I will not be behind this thing.
Yeah. I'm the same way, but
scary movies make me feel something. I'm just like, I'm terrified.
But like, is that good?
No, I love it. I think the thing that I enjoy about like scary movies, it's because some of them, if they're done really well, they make me think.
Yes.
Like I think can I curse? Am I allowed to? No.
Yeah, we're grown.
Okay. Like Midsommar fucked me up. Like,
oh my God.
Like the platform. No, it's okay.
I got through half of that.
Mm-mm. Like, but I like the things that fuck me up because then I go on YouTube and I'm like, what does this all mean? Like,
obsession. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Those movies, like, I just leave thinking more, which I think that's the best thing about movies for me is when they like cause me to question certain things, even though obviously it's not real. Well, actually, I don't know. It might be real.
See, I felt that way with Candyman when I saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't realize it was a remake.
Or the original. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think because I was watching the original, now obviously not when it came out, but like I watched it. I think I was alive then. But I watched that and I was just like, that's a lot, because it's just because it has a lot of like intersection. Because I think that was, I think that documentary is called Film Noir, was talking about like how blackness always and queerness always intersects with like horror a lot. So like they take a lot of elements for that and they just kind of make that thing horror. But Candyman was one of the first things where I actually like saw that and I was like, Okay, because sometimes I just need something to make it click. And I was like, okay, because I'm like, I'm not getting this from Nightmare on Elm Street personally.
I wasn't either.
Halloween, I'm just like, why is he breathing and walking down the street? Like, I don't get it. So I think I like stuff like that like is thought provoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a remake.
Amazing. I think Jordan Peele's doing that a lot, which is really cool to see. And using like Black issues and Black problems to kind of have a bigger conversation through horror, you know?
Which is dope. And also, like, what do y'all think about like Black Mirror, like things like that?
Love it. Like
I was obsessed with that shit.
Well, because it's exactly like you were saying, like it makes you think, because there's so many episodes that are obviously drawing like huge parallels to like our modern day society and like different aspects of it, and either like critiquing it or you know, having a commentary about it. And so it's just, and then even the ones that don't, though, it's kind of an interesting like what if sort of thing.
Yeah. So
and we sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say we almost same. We almost, I feel like, live in like a Black Mirror episode, so to speak. I know they put it like objectively out there with like showing the numbers or like doing certain things, but I feel like that ain't too far from what we going through right now.
Yeah,
like, give it a month. We'll be right there.
The funny thing is, like, especially when like those of us who have anything to do with like streaming or anything sort of like somewhat public facing, because it's like, you know, obviously the probably the most famous episode, Nosedive, where Bryce Dallas Howard is like, you know, you everyone has like the social rating or whatever. And it's like, we don't have that, but we do have like, I mean, the internet and the fact that like anything you've ever, exactly. Metrics, like how much engagement is your, you know, Twitter getting? Oh, it's not getting as much. Oh, okay. Well, then you're not going to get as many opportunities and things like that. So it's like, you know, in that episode, your like social score had real life ramifications, you know, oh, you can't live here unless you have like a 3.5 or above or whatever. And it's like, that's the exact same thing. Like, oh, unless you have 10,000 concurrents or whatever, you know, or 10,000 followers or whatever, you're not right for this ad campaign.
Yeah,
and that's people's livelihood.
It's almost become well, it kind of has become like social currency. I it's like clout tokens. Like, they actually genuinely can benefit you or make things harder. Like, I actually was watching a video somewhere. I don't know if it's correct, but it seemed correct. I gotta check my sources. But actually, Netflix doesn't make any money, but it has so much value because of the amount of subscribers they have, and that inherently is valuable to investors and people around them. So they place a number, but they actually output more money just creating their own shows and stuff, but that increases their subscriber count, which then makes them more profitable technically, because they have access to so many different people around the world.
Right.
That's very interesting, because I didn't know that.
And
but
please
that makes
keep making
sense.
The Witcher. Please. I need something to stare at.
I agree. But I was wondering, I was like, how does Netflix make money? I was like, it can't just be from subscribers?
It's not. They also have merchandise too. So all the things that they own, if they make merchandise from it, then probably not The Witcher, because there's always a legal battle with that franchise. But like things like Stranger Things, for example, like they own that. So when you have Stranger Things merch, they do make a profit off of that.
Gotcha. And I've been wondering that for a long time, because I know Hulu, you know, they have ads. Like I think Peacock has ads, and I'm like, well, Netflix doesn't have ads, but that makes a lot of sense. Yet.
Well, they honestly, they probably have like product placement in their episodes instead. That we don't even notice. You know, they have like brand deals with like whatever soda they're drinking or whatever, you know, what have you. So it's all subliminal. We don't even notice it, but
they're making money other ways.
Oh, I think we actually, by the way, we had another, went off on other tangents. We had another Twitter question.
Oh, okay. Bring them on. Hi, Twitter.
Genesis on Twitter asks for tips on getting over the fear that your cosplay isn't good enough. There are so many amazing ones out there that mine pales in comparison, which is probably not true, Genesis, but
it's not. Listen to the woman. Not true. But I would say what I've learned when I was in my cosplay journey is like there's so many different types of cosplay, which I think sometimes people don't recognize. Like you don't have to always be an armor builder. It's cool if you are, but maybe you're a closet cosplayer. Maybe you don't want to even make your outfits. Maybe you're a type of person that wants to buy it and you're more so like to do the makeup or do the hair. And I think recognize that in yourself, you know, figure out what kind of cosplay you are and don't let seeing something else deter you away from being that kind of cosplayer, because it is okay and it's all right. Sometimes people need different levels and different types of cosplayers to then feel comfortable, because I was looking at cosplay and I'm like, I don't know how to sew that well. I was just like, will I ever be able to do this? And then I saw people who like were taking things out of their closet and reimagining different pieces, and that made me feel comfortable on my journey. So you never know who you can impact, but also just find that value in yourself, that it's okay to be at whatever level you are at. And through time, you may become this crazy elaborate sewer. You may not. And that's fine. Because again, there are different types of cosplayers and different levels and different, just different journeys and different pathways. So I think just because you think someone might not like it because it's not this elaborate thing, or you don't think it may be good enough, don't like look at that as true, because in the reality, there's going to be someone that likes it and someone that relates and someone that sees you and feels connected to you.
And I would say, don't get caught up in comparing yourself to people, because you can get lost very quickly, and it's scary there. So do the thing that you love to do. If you love the cosplay, then just do it. And find the thing that works for you, like you said.
Agreed.
That's great. And I don't have any personal advice because I'm not a cosplayer. I have done a small amounts of cosplay, but like I never considered it was such an infrequent thing. I never considered myself a cosplayer, but I really liked both of y'all's advice. And, you know, especially like Kiera, what you were saying about it's like, no matter what kind of quote unquote like level your cosplay is on, or you feel like it's on, it can serve a purpose and it can help someone, you know, you know, one reason I never got into cosplay is, besides not being super duper interested in it, is like, I can't sew. I'm not super crafty. I can't make all those big armor cosplays, but there can be just as much like value, like you said, in, you know, doing like the makeup and the hair and kind of putting it all together and maybe arranging the photo shoot, working with a really talented photographer and creating your own sort of art around it. So that's amazing. I feel like I'm learning so much from doing this podcast.
So when's your next cosplay?
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll get into it after I start watching anime.
We'll check in on you. But do it. Do that cosplay, girl. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just post it and do it. Just keep going. The first step is just doing it. That's it. Just doing it.
I think my first cosplay was technically, I think I was in college and I had just bought something from Spirit Halloween. It was like a Spider-Girl cosplay. And I was just like, oh, who's Spider-Girl? And then learn about like the multiverse and who Spider-Man daughter is and stuff like that. So just go for it.
That's such a fun way that you were like inspired by the character first. And then you were like, now I'm going to get into this like story, you know, based on it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different characters and variants. Like I'm just like, sometimes it's hard to keep up, but like that particular, I was like, oh, let me hone in here.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, here's what I will say, not necessarily just from a cosplay perspective, is, you know, in addition to just do it, like, don't feel like you have to be an expert on that like source material to cosplay a character, because I think there is a lot of like gatekeeping out there, and there are a lot of people that would be like, oh, you're cosplaying this character. Oh, well, you know, what's the, you know, they'll like ask you some ridiculous
what's the backstory and how did they get here and why?
Yeah. Well, like, how did she get her superpowers, you know, et cetera. And it's like, no, you're just like, stop. I don't know. I'm just not.
You're like, I just watched the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like, can't it just be like, I think it's valid to just be like, I like the character. I like the way this character looks or the way this character acts, or you like something about the character. Like, isn't that all you need to be able to cosplay? I like something about this character, so I want to cosplay them.
Yes.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's how I feel too.
You are absolutely correct.
But also, not even just from anime, just like cartoons or like, you know, different cool things in history, like stuff like that. Like you can literally just cosplay is for everybody. Do it respectfully.
Yeah.
But, you know, cosplay is for everyone.
Yeah. I cosplayed the Morton Salt Girl one time. The
Oh,
girl in
You
the
didn't
salt.
do that. You
I
did.
That's
I was like, how come no
hilarious.
one's ever done it? I was like, screw it. Let's try it out. See how it works.
I love that. Are there any other kind of fun cosplays you've done like that? There are, or maybe a character that you wouldn't, other people might not think to cosplay?
Yeah, I think at one point during Black History Month, instead of just doing Black characters, I try to do iconic figures. So like Aretha Franklin or even like SZA or someone like that I felt they had major impacts and paved a lot of different roads for people of color. I thought that was pretty cool. I was just like, this is fun. It was nice to not solely just do like cartoons or anime, but to
Break out of the
box and show respect and love for these people that I feel like deserve this kind of recognition. And like I don't see it often in that community. So I was like, oh, this would be like fun to do. And then, you know, making the photo shoots look like exactly like the people, like having the grayscale or the grain or things of that nature. That was just like, it was just fun. And then one time I tried to do a whole bunch of cereal box characters. I don't know how that one went, but it was fun trying.
See, I'm inspired by locations around me to do cosplay. Ooh. So that's like, so like if you see me in like my house shooting, it's probably because it's winter or raining. But like if I see a place and I'm like, this character reminds me and looks like it belongs here. So now I'm going to do this thing because I do like mostly location shooting. That's why I miss living in California because
oh my God,
it was always warm.
Yeah. It's nice over here. There's no humidity.
Take me back, but without the taxes.
Gas is $6.
Oh my God.
Can't
$6
relate.
and $7. Yeah, don't. It's okay.
$3.30 anyway. And we don't have to pump our own gas.
It hurts my heart every time I go.
For our listeners, the frowns that I'm seeing. I am so sorry.
I think
gas is like $2.85 in Ohio.
But you have to pump your own gas. Wait, or
we do.
Y'all?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Isn't it? So are you in New Jersey? Isn't New Jersey? I feel like New Jersey's isn't it the only place that you like, you're not allowed to pump your own gas, right?
Yeah, it's against the law. So I think it's us in Wisconsin. I think there's two of us.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so fascinating.
So when I go to places like New York and I get stuck, I have to ask somebody to pump my gas for me because I don't know how.
You don't know how. Oh my God.
When I lived in California, I didn't bring my car for that very purpose. I'm like, I'm not learning how to pump my gas. I refuse.
That's so crazy. That's so cool though. Like what?
I'm spoiled.
You're spoiled.
Well, no, that's great because it's not like, I mean, it's not like it's hard, but it's just like you get like your hand smells like gas, and it's just like, yeah, it's not a pleasant.
Everybody touching the thing.
My hand smells like perfume.
Can't relate. Must be nice. Must be nice.
Because I've seen like YouTube videos of like people starting fires, and I'm like, no, see, that would be me. Nope. Like a spark or something will happen. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
I'm like, that's terrifying.
It is. Yeah. I'm like, no, that will be me. And I'll be all blued up. I'm not doing it. This has been a very interesting podcast.
Yeah.
I want to know like a listening vision, like representation of my ADHD. This podcast is what it is.
I liked it.
Covered a lot of subjects. Well, I mean, does anyone else have any other topics they'd like to explore before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Are you making more music?
See, I have a love-hate relationship with that because I don't think I'm a good artist.
What did we just tell Genesis?
Okay, listen. Okay,
do the cosplay.
Right, y'all, I'm going to California.
Okay. Hear me out. But hear me out. Like, I'm not. Okay, how do I put this? I don't think. Okay, sorry. Okay,
we're not gonna let you get away with this.
I don't know. While I think it's cool, it's just also I just don't. I think I have to get comfortable with putting out music because I've kind of conditioned in my head that I'm not that great at it. And music, honestly, is kind of expensive.
It is. It is.
And you don't really get money from it. Like you don't, not saying you have to do it for money, but like even music artists that are big, they don't really make money from music.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me sometimes to put myself in the mindset of like making music, because one, if I already don't feel the best at it, and then I'm like putting in a lot of money, I've kind of taken a step back from it, which is why I like to like rap in my streams now, because that's where I can get it out. But there's just like other things that I feel like bring me a lot more joy. I don't want to say I'll never put out music. I just don't know if this is the timing for it. Like if a brand deal wants to give me a music studio and place me in with some producers, go ahead, honey, and I will make you some magic
on their tab. Yeah,
on their tab. But right now, I feel like I have a lot more love for other things. Not saying I don't have love for it, but I know a lot of musicians and I see how hard they work and how much energy and passion they put into it. And I just cannot say the same for myself. I kind of do it like, oh, this is fun. And then I kind of just go around and I see that and I see the difference. And there's other things where I feel like I'm putting all that passion in, but it's just different avenues. And I think if it comes time where I feel like, okay, I really am like passionate about making a lot of music, then I might potentially put out some more. But right now it's just like not on my radar. I don't want to say it's never going to happen. It's just not. It's not in the heart of the cards right now. Yeah, it's not in the cards right now. I want to be that person that when they're doing something, they're extremely like into it and like it's almost like ride or die, life or death, and you need to get it done and you feel inspired. But I don't really feel inspired by music at the current moment personally. So I think I'll just wait for that passion or that inspiration to hit to then kind of put my heart into it if that time comes. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer.
Well, like, no, but not everything has to be content too. Like sometimes singing in the house is completely fine. I'm a trained singer and I don't even put stuff out.
I like doing that. Like honestly, like rapping on stream and doing it like that, that's where I find like a lot of joy. Like that's really fun for me, or just like doing bad karaoke. But I don't think I necessarily have to like, all right, I need to package this, get some cover art, put it on Spotify, because that's a whole
work.
Other job.
That's work.
That's a job.
That's like pumping your gas. That's too much.
I'm already trying to do content creation and comics and all these other things. I'm like, if I ain't really about to be down for it, I need to chill. Like I can do this just for a fun. Like I like doing it just like, for fun, as opposed to like outputting like a project.
Well, no, that is so important. Like, I think Confetti, didn't you just say literally not everything needs to be content? Like, that's so true. Because I remember, I think I saw you tweet, like, it would have been a couple months ago at this point. You tweeted something about like skateboarding, and then you're like, I don't remember if like someone was like, now give us content, now give us skateboarding content or something. They like went off on them. Like, not everything needs to be content. Some things are just for me, which is so important for your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they were like, I can't wait to see your skate videos. I was like, what? I have to do more things.
Yeah, I'm like, this is for fun. I don't want to make this work.
I'm tired.
Not everything has to be work. I'm okay with this not being work.
But like, and then when you talk about like, because I grew up like, we grew up with like social media. So it's just like, sometimes I just want to share that like, I'm having fun skating.
Yes.
That, and then that's it.
Yes.
Like, yes. I still want to like sometimes enjoy social media as a human being. Like, I'm at the skate park and I'm having fun.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah. That part.
And I also saw, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a feature creator at DreamCon.
I am. Hi guys.
You want to talk about that?
I'm going to be at DreamCon. But I'm also going to be actually going to Colossal Con too.
Cool.
Which is really fun. I don't think I've ever really been a guest at a convention, only once, and it was CurtCon. But other than that, I've always tried to be one and they never really approved, or I'm not sure what happened. So it's going to be interesting and cool to kind of do that and see what that's like, and host my own panels and have the conversations that I want to have, and like these activations at these different conventions, and seeing how that goes and learning from them. I'm excited and terrified.
You're gonna do great.
Thank you. We'll see. I'm excited. It's gonna be different. I'm just gonna be like, I'm on the other side now. Woo!
And we miss each other at NYC Anime. So if we don't see each other at DreamCon, I will lay on this floor and cry.
We will see each other. We will see each other. We will see.
I was like, oh, Kiara's here. Oh my God,
You better come to my panel.
I'm skipping it. No, I'm gonna come.
Oh man, I'm excited. It's cool. It's different. And I'm just blessed that I've been able to kind of have this longevity in my career that I didn't even know was going to be my career, and being able to kind of see it transform, maintain, and just show me into different pathways that I just never knew were possible for myself or that I would end up being in.
But I mean, I believe, like I said, you're somebody who I even looked up to, like just seeing your content and seeing all the versatile things that you do and learning so much from this podcast that I'm going to go cry later. That, that you're not alone. And when we talk about like leveling up and things like that, sometimes it's not always just the set journey of things that we have, like the path, we're going to do this, we're going to get a partner, we're going to do this and this and that. Sometimes it's just going with the flow and just vibing and just seeing what works, but also having the courage and to try new things. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you guys. Seriously, y'all are so sweet and amazing. And I really enjoyed this conversation. So I appreciate y'all having this podcast for one, and bringing on different people and just like sharing their stories and talking. Like, this is very, very nice. Thank you. I needed this, girl. I was sad yesterday.
I mean, like I said, I'm just getting over food poisoning. So it's Monday. Well, almost Thursday, but yes. Where people will be listening. My brain is
that happens.
Should we do some
That's
social
why
media?
Jess is here.
I was gonna say I didn't have food poisoning. I can kind of wrangle this herd of cats a little bit.
Okay.
Kiara, can you please plug your social media? Let listeners know where they can find you and any special kind of projects you want to plug.
Hey guys, I am Kieraplease. You can find me on all platforms under the same name, except for on Twitch and TikTok. They took my name and you have to spell please with a Z, but I think that gives it a little spiciness, so it's okay. Just keep on the lookout. I do want to start creating comic books. It will take me some time to get in the hang of that, just because those things take time. But hopefully you will enjoy the different pieces of content through that. And hopefully I can do something a little different, put out some new things and inspire you. Maybe if you want to be an artist or a comic creator or a manga creator, this is again, another pathway, another journey that you can take, and don't let anyone stop you to do it.
Period.
And Confetti, where can our listeners find you?
I am Milady Confetti on every platform. Nobody's taking my name. I'm so happy about that. So you can find me at TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Please follow my Instagram. It's a little scary over there. So please follow me on Instagram, because anime Instagram has found me. So please come be my friend over on Instagram.
I'm already your friend there, so hopefully it's a little bit less scary. I don't know what you mean by scary, but
one of my posts is like going very viral. It said like, imagine your first anime crush battling your current one, and it was Sesshomaru versus Tengen Uzui from Demon Slayer. It's a lot.
Oh, okay, conversation starter.
Sesshomaru wins.
And then I am Jess Brohard. I'm not really super active on social media these days. I'm on Twitter. I say Twitter and Instagram. I'm just at Jess Brohard, because nobody took those because I've got kind of a crazy name. And then of course, don't forget to follow the podcast on social media at The Boss Level Pod. That's spelled LVL. And also join our Discord for a behind the scenes look at the show. And you can recommend new guests or give us feedback and chat with us directly. It's a really good time. Definitely join up there, and we will see you next episode. Bye.
Bye guys.